A mysterious geomagnetic storm has brought your plane crashing down into the northern Canadian wilderness. How long can you survive? No one can tell you what goes on between the person you were and the person you become. No one can chart that blue and lonely section of hell. There are no maps of the change. You just come out the other side. Stephen King, The Stand. As Pistachio steps out from his house and the safety of the lake cabin, he starts off towards the Bleak Inlet. There he will be able to make more ammunition for his rifle and revolver, as well as explore more of what has happened to Great Bear. He has gathered his supplies, and he is ready to continue on his journey. While exploring the unnamed pond and searching for supplies, Pistachio comes across a black bear of the north. He will not stand a chance against this giant predator in the open. Pistachio slowly backs away and notices a hunter's blood. This is the chance he needs. He will lure the creature closer and closer. Readying his rifle, the creature slowly approaches. You can hear the roar and the growl. Pistachio, taking no chances, steps in to the hunter's blind. The black bear slowly walks by. Pistachio takes aim, fires for the heart. The bear does not go down. Pistachio continues to fire at the beast. 3 shots hit. The creature is still standing. Pistachio steps out to lure the creature closer for the kill shot. The bear may have the size, the strength, and the brute force, but Pistachio has the cunning and the patience. Takes aim one more time. Fires. 4 shots in, this creature will not go down. Pistachio, a 5th shot. The bear turns around to capture his prey once more. As majestic and strong as the bear is, Pistachio will not give up. For now he has no choice but to down this bear, because he is trapped. Pistachio crouches down near the entrance, takes aim one more time, and roughs this magnificent beast. Stepping out, making sure the coast is clear, Pistachio examines this kill, thinking, "You're a magnificent creature, but only one of us could live today." Passing the derailment, Pistachio saw that he could not flash the bridge that way, and he needed to get to the bottom of this ravine to reach the Bleak Inlet. Carefully moving around, he sees the other side of the derailment, knowing all the souls that were there are now lost. He comes across an area that is a little land bridge, looking for a way to get across and get down. Pistachio sees the locomotive of the derailment at the bottom of the ravine, and he looks around for an area to tie his rope to, so he can make his way down the ravine. Coming across these giant boulders, Pistachio sees a solid rock to attach his rope to. Being sure to secure the rope tightly, he takes a careful up-down, puts on his crampons, and is ready to go. As Pistachio grabs the rope, he prepares for the long trek down. slowly making his way down, careful not to lose his grip. He's getting tired. It was a long walk here, but there was no suitable shelter for this very moment. He had to make this trip down to the bottom of the ravine before he could find shelter and get some much-needed rest. Hoping to find supplies inside the locomotive engine, he reaches the bottom, tired, worn out, looking for anything he could use as supplies. Feeling sorry for the souls that must have been in this train car, he opens the locomotive engine to find no usable supplies. Pistachio lays out his newly made bearskin bedroll and prepares to get a few hours of sleep. As Pistachio leaves the ravine and finds his way to the Bleak Inlet, he makes his way down a land bridge from a tree that fell over. He knows if he continues to head south, he will find the old cannery. But first, he has to find the radio tower, because the old cannery he held is locked, and the code to the door is in the radio tower. Slowly making his way down these fallen trees, Pistachio's careful of the ice. It is thin in certain places, and he is also mindful of any predators that could be around. Spotting an area that he could attach more rope to, Pistachio realizes he does not have any more rope to climb down this cliff. Looking around, trying to stay away from the timberwolves as he recovers from his blood loss, Pistachio finds a rope hanging right here on the side of the tower. Thank God, Pistachio thinks, as he collects the mountaineering rope and heads inside the ranger tower. As Pistachio looks over the landscape, he spots his way to the Echo 1 radio tower. There is the code to the workshop at the cannery. Surveying his surroundings, Pistachio must hurry. It's getting cold, and the timberwolves are still out, looking for revenge. Pistachio quickly makes his way down and in the direction of Echo 1 radio tower. Freezing from the blizzard, Pistachio comes across the parking lot to Echo 1 radio tower. He's tired, he's cold, and the effects of hypothermia are starting to set in. Just a little farther, and he'll be in shelter, where he can warm up and hopefully find the code to the cannery. Pulling together what strength he has left, Pistachio hurries towards the command center of Echo 1 radio tower. Completely tired, completely frozen, he slowly makes his way there, fighting his way through the wind. As he reaches the front door, he thinks, finally, now I can rest. Searching around for any sign of the code, Pistachio finds it on a desk. The communication report. Request extraction. Wolves everywhere. Chased out of the muskeg to the coast. All predator deterrents failed. No food left. Going to check out the worksite down below Tower 12. For supplies, use code 154 to bypass security doors. Hurry. Section 12 Tower failure. Remote service for automated relay. Extreme predator threat. Partner Specialist 819er26. As Pistachio reads the report, he realizes there's no one else left. They were taken by the predators and the timberwolf population. Pistachio looks for a place just to lay his head and get some rest. As Pistachio looks out over the highway, bridge, and the cannery, he realizes he's got to climb down the cliffside. There is no easy way down. Thanking God that he found that rope, he turns and prepares to make his way to the cannery. Making his way down from Echo 1 radio tower, Pistachio notices something sticking out of the snow.
Thank goodness.
It's Forrester's revolver, an old reliable weapon, durable, taken off a Briar House worker by an unknown forest stalker, always willing to have more firearms to protect against the dangerous wildlife. Pistachio makes his way back to the control center. He knows the forest stalkers were a very protective group of Great Bear and their wilderness. As Pistachio makes his way, looking for a rock sturdy enough to climb down from, he avoids the timber wolves and he prepares for the long climb down. Attaching his rope securely, he dons his crampons to give him extra support while he's climbing down. He lightens his load by dropping his old bow. It suited him well, but it was almost broken completely. He begins his trek down, being careful not to let go or lose his grip. The crampons coming in helpful, making sure his feet stay solid to the rope and work next to him. Nearing the bottom, he's grateful to be one step closer to the cannery, but the cold weather is setting in, and he needs to find shelter. Looking for a safe house, he quickly hurries around, getting colder by the minute, and worried about hypothermia and dehydration. The first two houses he cannot get into, they are boarded up and locked. Comes to a third house. Mindful of any predators, he steps in. Exiting the cannery worker's house, Pistachio comes face to face with a giant bear. And with one shot of his arrow, having tracked the bear to the other side of the cannery residences, he finds its lifeless body next to some trees, signaled by the crows overhead, finally taking him out with one arrow. After taking down the bear, Pistachio spots an island off the coast. He makes his way over there, avoiding the thin ice, and finds the remains of a lighthouse. He doesn't know what happened, but it could be a good place to find supplies. Freezing cold, Pistachio steps into the lighthouse, finding very few supplies. Going upstairs, Pistachio can't help but think what happened to those that ran this lighthouse. What happened to the occupants? Did they make it out in time? Or were they lost to the earthquake and the storm? Determined to make it all the way to the top, Pistachio crouches down and carefully walks around the destroyed side. Pistachio looks down and surveys the area around him and decides it's time to finally head for the cannery. As Pistachio makes his way back from the lighthouse, the lights appear in the sky. The aurora borealis, so beautiful, and he can see lights in the distance. Pistachio starts to wonder, did the lights in the sky cause the electricity to work again on Great Bear Island? This is a mystery he needs to solve if he is going to survive the long dark. As Pistachio crosses the long bridge, the cannery is just ahead. So are the timber wolves. Pistachio is trying to avoid a confrontation, but it looks like that will be impossible. He makes his way to the gatehouse as the timber wolves howl, alerted to his presence. He drops his trapwall, runs into the gatehouse for shelter, and prepares for a fight. He readies his trusty bow and then dropping another one. Feeling the effects of blood loss, he patches himself up, and the Timberwolves are now leaving him alone. He can continue to the last chance cannery. As Pistachio enters the cannery, he sees a sign left by the old workers that the wolves are scared of the flares. He's picked up a few flares along the way, so that could come in very handy. He makes his way through the destroyed and deserted outbuildings over to the main building of the cannery. A few vehicles left. Maybe he can scavenge some more lead to make ammunition. But for now, Pistachio is cold and needs to get out of this storm and away from the Timberwolves. Having gone around the track, the Rift-Tops, and the Timberwolves, Pistachio makes his way into the cannery workshop. Entering the code he got from the radio tower, he makes his way inside, discovers a few supplies, including a flask, and makes his way into the actual workstation. He hears the sound of a wolf and sees him. Not wanting to take any chances, Pistachio takes aim at the wolf. Barely hitting the wolf in its hindquarters, Pistachio watches the animal struggle and bleed out before finally doing the humane thing to do.